Hello, 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 everyone. Come on into the webinar. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your host for this afternoon, where we're going to talk about how you get grants for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. So as you come in, say hello to me. Say hello to me. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Say hello to me, everyone. Give that city and that state a shout out as you come in. Give that city and that state a shout out as you come in. Let me know where you are coming in from. Let's see. It is cold here. I'm in the land, by the way. I'm in the land not too far from Cleveland, Ohio, right by the lake where it is. We're in the midst of a snowstorm. We're in the midst of a snowstorm. Like the county next to us got over 40 inches, 40. Hello, Kimberly from the ATL, and Antoine from Nashville, and Daphne from Denham Springs, Louisiana. Ah, look at Atlanta showing up strong. Ramona is from Atlanta. AC, is it AC? Is that right? From Kansas City. Hey, William from South Fulton, Georgia. Georgia is up in the house today. Norman from Louisiana is coming in strong. Hello, Mashawn from Memphis, the home of some pretty good barbecue. And look at the CLE, look at the land showing up. Hey, Cedric and Isaac from Covington, Georgia. And Angela, oh, another Memphis person. EC. Okay, EC, it's pronounced EC from Kansas City. And Jonathan, look at Georgia up in this house. Jonathan from Athens, Georgia, and Vernitra from Lithonia, Georgia. But Texas has appeared. Hello, hello, hello. Constantine from Houston, Texas. Hello, everybody. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your host for this afternoon, where we're going to talk about how you get grants for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. Now, I'm getting ready to start because I have a lot of information to share with you. And I know some of you on the timeline. So we're going to get started as we say hello to Danya from Tampa. Oh, I bet it's not snowing in Tampa. And Roger from Benton Harbor, Michigan. I think you guys get a lot of snow too. All right. The first thing you're going to see is just like a little 30-second TV commercial, which will give you some background information about me and the work that I do. And then we're off to the races, but we're live. So as I always say, when I hit this share screen live, it's like, oh, come through, come through, come through, technology, come through. All right, sound is looking good. All right, let's see, let's see, let's see. Yep, yep, yep. It is looking good. It is looking good. All right, we're off to the races.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We've worked with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
All right, so that's just a little bit of information about me. Let me make sure everybody is in the right place. So this is grant writing for Black-owned businesses and Black-led nonprofits. And this is my live noon session. And I will be on tonight at 7 o'clock live as well. So I'm going to put that link into the chat a little bit later. But for now, we're getting ready to get started. So my background, they call me the grants queen because I've won over $17 million in grants and funding development. And this is year 16 of me owning LaPav Consulting, my company. And every one of those years, I have served as a professional grant writer. My undergraduate and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. And I provide grant writing workshops all around the country for many different organizations, including Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of their 10,000 Small Businesses program. And I am also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with Forbes magazine. Now, I have a business, yes, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know who's here with me today. So let me know in the chat. Are you a for-profit or a nonprofit? Hey, Cedric, I have another alumnus from the University of Akron. Yes. So let me know. Let me know in the chat. Are you a nonprofit or a for-profit, or maybe you're both? Because I'm finding that a lot of for-profits are starting nonprofits and vice versa. So let me know. Maybe you're both. Maybe you're a for-profit or a nonprofit. So let me know. Let me know in the chat. Okay, I'm seeing for-profits and oh, a lot of both. Excellent. Hello, Monique from Miami. All right, let's see. Oh, a lot of both. That's really, really, really great because it means that you're placing yourself in a position to better get grants. Some grants are for profits, some grants are for nonprofits, some grants are for both, right? A lot of the government grants are for both. We'll talk a lot more about that a little bit later. So the reason I ask you this question right from the beginning is so that all of you understand you're in the right place. There are grants for your small business, which means you are a for-profit, as well as your nonprofit. Okay. So I know that may seem a little odd because when you thought about a grant, what did you think about? A nonprofit. Everything is different now. So, yes, oh, there's grant money available for your for profit, your small business as well. All right. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania and I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland and literally came home in a wheelchair, couldn't even stand. Was on a flight with Patti LaBelle, but that's a story for another time. So when I got back home, literally it took me 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job because my background was in professional publishing, right? And if you know anything about Cleveland, you know it's like not the publishing mecca of the United States. So that is when I started my company, LaPav Consulting. One of my first contracted positions was to be this executive director of a nonprofit. And when I started, I don't think I was there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant, write a grant to save my salary, to save my job, thus saving the organization. Now, we're all family here today. So you know that there are times when people who look like us, we're called in to do what? To save the organization, sometimes to save the day, to save the program, to save the project. So if you know what I'm talking about, give me a yes in the chat, right? Well, you know what? I did it. I researched, I wrote that grant, I won that grant, I paid for my salary, I paid for the opportunity to be there for the entire year. That salary was for paid for an entire year. Save the organization, right? And I knew that yes, you can write grants with no experience. You can do it. I've done it, right? But it also taught me what you can do with grant money. How about grow your organization? How about you start? Some of you have not even started. How about hire help? Are you tired of it wearing like all 20 hats? Right? So this is just some of what you can do with grant money. All right. All right. Oh, I'm seeing lots of yeses. You know what I'm talking about. You know what happens, right? You know what happens. All right. What else will we talk about? Why this class is even important. Why are we here? Some keys to funding. I'm going to show you some grant basics. I'm going to show you how do you prepare. You have to prepare to apply for grants. What do you write in an application? How do you write the application? So that you're getting notice in a sea of applications, right? We know grants are competitive, right? And then I want to show you how to conduct grant research, all right? And then do not go anywhere because I have a list of available grants for you. I have a bonus surprise, and we're going to do a Q&A. All right. So let me just say to all of you, this is not the time to be shy. This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert and a grants instructor questions about grants. All right. So drop your questions in either the Q&A or the chat. All right. And I'm going to go through them both. Also, let me say this to you clearly. I am here to help you, right? I'm here to help you. This is like year 16 of me being in this industry. You're going to get a copy of this replay. So don't worry. I do go fast because I want to get this information to you. You will get a copy of the replay. It will be free. I do not charge for my replays because I want you to have this information. So you'll get it free. You'll get it tonight, right? Via your email, and you'll have it forever because I don't put some expiration date on this information. All right. So don't worry. You'll get the replay. It will be free. You'll have it tonight. You'll have it forever. All right. It's time to go. All right. All right. All right. Why are we even here? Why are we even here? Because as Black organizations, we need access to money. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans, right? We want grant money because grant money is free to us. But let me say this to all of you. You can do this. You can write a grant. It's not what it used to be. Grant writing is very different. You're not sitting in some corner for 3 months at a time writing some 500-page document. I know all about that because it is exactly what I used to do. A lot of these grant applications, people are 2 and 3 pages. I kid you not, 2 or 3 pages. You can do this, but you must know that there's a process. After every $117 million, I can tell you that this is about more than you just answering a question on an application and sending it off. That's a really good way to get a rejection letter. All right, so I'm going to show you what this process is about so that you can place your organization in the best possible position to not just write a lot of grants, but to start winning grants. All right. All right. Now, let me just tell you why there's so much money available right now. Right now. Okay. Because we don't know what's going to happen after January. But right now, when COVID-19 happened, a lot of small businesses went under. So this is why there's so much money for your small business, right? When COVID happened, small businesses were closing at an alarming rate. And then your major corporations stepped in and they said, we need to do something about this. We need to start helping small businesses. The small business is the backbone of the US economy. So that's why you have so much grant money earmarked for small businesses. All right. Your major corporations with foundations as a part of their structure stepped in and said, we need to help. And so that's the money that you're seeing available. Now, how does this pertain to you and me? That was the George Floyd incident. When George Floyd was murdered, major organizations, corporations, nonprofits, right? Your foundations. So we have to do something about racial injustice in this country. And so they started to create pools of grant money earmarked for Black organizations and Black-led nonprofits. And so much of that money is still available. So don't believe everything that you see on TV or on the internet. This money is still available for now, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, the money is available. That's why you must place yourself in a position to get this money. You need to be ready January 1st. Like you need to be ready, right? Because we know from what we're hearing, a lot of this money comes from the government, by the way. And we know that we're hearing about government departments being slashed, right? You know that that will affect the amount of grant money that they're giving. And with organizations too, right? It's one of the first areas where they may be cutting back. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place to make sure that you, right, are equipped to get this grant money. All right. But the good news is that it means there's grant money for both. Look, there have always been grant money for nonprofits, but small businesses, Black organizations, this is new. This is new. So you are absolutely in the right place and the timing couldn't be better for you. All right. Now, some grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back, again, regardless of what you're seeing on social media. Now, for the next minute, I'm only talking to nonprofits. All right. For the next minute, get your 501c3. That is your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. Now, why is this critical? Because foundations are mandated by their board of directors that they can only give their grant money to nonprofits that have a 501c3. The good news for you is that it used to take the IRS about what, 6 months to process these applications. Now it's only taking about 8 weeks. So get your 501c3. All right. And make sure you're dropping questions into the chat or the Q&A. All right. Now, from this point forward in this presentation, I'm talking to all of you. Your small businesses, for-profits, right? Nonprofits, everybody, especially with this next slide. Look at this slide, people. Look at this slide. U.S. grant annual funding. Foundation, corporation, and bequest giving, 2023, increased $189 billion given in 1 year. $189 billion, billion would it be? And guess what? When you throw in individual giving, $455 billion. Don't let anybody tell you that there's no grant money. Don't let anybody tell you there's no grant money. There is plenty of grant money. You have to ask yourself, what are you going to do to place yourself in a position to get it? And I want you to focus on this number, 189. Do not be intimidated. I don't want you to look at that number and say, oh, that's just like, there's no way I can ever get that. It's just like, it's just too much. No, because at the end of the day, you only need what you need, right? You only need a little bit of this $189 billion, right? So right now, I want everybody to put into this chat, I just need a little bit. I just need a little bit. You just need a little bit. Do not be intimidated by these huge numbers because you just need what you need, right? You need to focus on what you need, right? That's what I'm talking about, right? EC, right? Do you need it all? Monique, do you need all $189 billion? Mike, will you settle for a slice? Right? Just a little teeny tiny slice of it, right? William, all of it? Do you need all of it? Look, Shedrick said, look, I just need a tad. All right. I need a tad. You need your 40 acres and a mule, right? You just need a little bit, right? So I want you to focus on the fact of what you need, right? And not these huge numbers, right? John, right? Because look, out of that amount, I'll take the crumbs. I'll take some crumbs that fall from $189 billion because that is a lot of money. And what I want you to understand is that there's money available, right? There's money available. All right. Now, because they call me the grants queen and it's really, really chilly outside where I am, I'm going to be giving you like these nice cups of tea, all afternoon. And this is the first one. It is called Grammarly. Now, if you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. What is it? It is a free software editing tool. Why is this important? I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. And let me tell you, it's easy to do. It has nothing to do with how many letters you have behind your name. I am a professional editor, a professional writer, a professional grant writer. I would not write without Grammarly. It's free, people. You download it onto your computer. So as you're writing your Word documents or your emails or even Excel, it will self-correct. It will give you recommendations to write better. Do not submit these applications full of grammatical errors, right? Who is using Grammarly? Who is using Grammarly? Ramona uses Grammarly. It's phenomenal. People, download it. It's free. And this article here, improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. Download that article. It will help you to become a better writer. All right. Now, what are we doing here, though? We are preparing to apply for grants. You need to be grant ready. So get your documentation in order. You need your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need that 501c3. Now, you may need your state certification, or in some states it's called a business license, right? I'm in Ohio. It's different for every state. I'm in Ohio. I have a business. Therefore, I must have a business license. Go to your Secretary of State, right? Go to their website, find out whether or not you need a business license. Now, nonprofits, you know, it's mandated that you have a board of directors. Get your list together. If you are a for-profit, it's not mandated, but if you have a board, get that list together. Any staff members, right? List those. Now, letters of support, get them. You want the foundation to know that, look, there are other organizations that support you, right? So where are they coming from? It could be your vendors, right? It could be your pastor, your church, community leaders, politicians that you know, people that know of your work in the community. Ask them to give you a letter of support. Now, if you are currently operating, you need your financial statements, right? Your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. All right. Now, this is for everybody, even you startups. You need an operating budget. Do not be intimidated by this because all you're doing is really writing down what do you think your expenses are going to be, especially you startups, because you may be thinking, oh, I need $1 million grant to open my business. But once you really sit down and start creating a budget of where you think you're going to need money and what you think those expenses are going to be, and you can estimate, you might realize, oh, I only need $50,000 to open, right? So all of you create your operating budget. All right, got it? Now I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices. All right, all right. Summary abstract. This is the first section of the grant that you are going to see, but do not be fooled. You always write it last, because you're going to go through that grant application and pull out the most compelling components and dump them into the summary abstract, right? This is the first impression that a foundation is going to get of your organization. So it has to be tight. All right. Mission vision. This is critical. We're just going to deal with the mission statement. All of you need a mission statement. Yes, even you small businesses. Why? Because your mission is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money, because you need to align your mission to the mission of that foundation. If you are laser focused on education, you need to be finding a foundation that has a passion for education. And guess what? You're not changing your mission statement based on what organization, right, you're seeking money from. No, your mission stays the same. You need to be finding organizations that align to your mission. All right. So if you don't have a mission, that is homework 101 for you. Got it? All right. And what is it? Defines what you're doing. This is why you don't change it. Your mission is your goals and your aims for your organization. All right. Next section is the history section. Just don't ever leave it blank, even if you are a startup, because I want you to think about what were the activities or the impetus, right? Or the catalyst for you starting your organization, because whatever was occurring, whatever those experiences were, right, will lead you to opening up the organization. Therefore, it becomes a part of its history. Okay. Next, leadership. That's easy, right? That's your CEO, your COO, but you always include your board of directors because they are very much a part of your leadership team. Okay. Now, description of your organization. This section here, this is where you can set your organization apart. This is where you absolutely can set your organization apart, because I want you all to think about one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And I want you to use real numbers. You have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? Do you have an online coaching service? Maybe you have an LLC. You coach people in career development. How many people have you led to their future careers? Let's say you haven't even opened, right? You're a startup. Now you're going to be talking about what you hope your impact will be. Let's say you want to start a tutoring organization for maybe middle school kids after school. You can indicate, I hope my impact will be that they will increase their reading proficiency scores by 3% using those real numbers. So whether or not you're open or opening, talk about impact and real numbers. Got it? All right. Now, this is where some of you may have to rethink how you see your organization, because when you write this application, you must write as if you are resolving an issue or solving a problem. It does not matter what your industry is. It doesn't matter whether you have a program or a project or a service. It doesn't matter if you have a storefront, nonprofit, for profit. You have to write the application as if you are addressing an issue. Let's take a bakery, for profit, wants to locate in a downtown community. You might be thinking, what issue is she resolving, right? She's making cakes all day. Maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans really don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods. Or maybe it's about economic development because she knows that that community, there have been many other failed businesses and she wants hers to make a difference. Whatever that issue is, it's going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money because they're going to be giving grant money to organizations addressing the same issue. So you have to define what yours is, right? Now, how do you find out where foundations give and who they give to and how they give, right? How do you find out what their areas of interest is? You go to their website. It should all be there. But the issue is 90% of foundations don't have a website. So that's where you got to get creative. All right. Now, this next section is where a lot of you get into trouble. I have served as a consultant for many years, many years, right? And when I work with organizations, I'm actually a business coach for ECDI, the Women's Business Council, which is part of the, or funded by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. When I ask you who you serve, too often I help everybody. I help everybody. I help everybody. No, no, you cannot help everybody. This is how you get burnt out. You should have one, maybe two target populations. That's it. And then create a list of references or resources or referrals so that you can send people to other organizations that are better suited to help them, right? If you can't, you focus on how you can help them. So you should have one, maybe two, whether it's homeless or minority, and then you have to drill down, right? So if you input homeless, homeless who? Homeless veterans, homeless single moms, right? Low income who? And this can be based on geography too. Let's say you have a storefront. You can say, I only serve people within like a 5-mile radius, but you've got to be able to create your target population because foundations give according to target population. So if you want to put one or two of yours into the chat, if I have a chance at the end, I will comment on them. All right. And make sure you are dropping those questions and be excited. This is not something that you enter in with trepidation. Be excited about writing these grants because this is your opportunity to tell your story, right? That's what a grant application is. You get to tell your story. You get to show how you've been changing lives or what outcomes you've been able to achieve or what you will be able to accomplish once you open, right? And the best way to really showcase your impact is using video. There's just no better way, right? If you are currently open, have your clients talking to their cell phone for 30 seconds and place that video on the homepage of your website, right? This is important. And maybe you haven't opened. Now you're still using video to showcase the issue. Maybe you want to locate in that underserved community. You want to maybe get a video of lay of the land and what it looks like. But be excited about the opportunity that you're finally going to be able to tell your story to somebody that really is interested in hearing it and has a vested interest in hearing it, right? So be excited about the opportunity to write these grants. Now, all of you have a decision to make, though. Are you asking for operating grant money or program project grant money? One or the other per foundation, one or the other, you have to choose. Now, we love getting operating grant money because that means you get to decide where to put the money. When you get an operating grant, oftentimes it's used to shore up your infrastructure, your administration, right? So you can use it for salaries or your IT or your lease or, developing your a website. But only about 32% of foundations give this general operating support. Most grant money has to go to some particular program or service that you offer. All right. Got it? All right. Now, last on this slide here, why is it important that you must apply to multiple foundations when you are seeking grant money? Let me know in the chat. Why do you think it's important that you have to apply to multiple foundations? People, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint, right? Into the chat. Let me know. Why do you think it's important that you have to apply to multiple foundations? Into the chat. Let me hear. Into the chat. Why do you think this is important? Increased chances for success, Cedric. Yes. Increased likelihood of success. Yes, yes, yes. Constantine. Yes. Not only that, not only that, but grants are not guaranteed. People, if somebody is trying to tell you that they can guarantee you some grant money, I want you to do one of those about faces and run in the other direction because you're about to be scammed. And at this point, I'm hearing horror stories almost every day, literally almost every day, about people being scammed. There's no such thing as guaranteed grant money. Don't let anybody tell you that. You need to apply to multiple foundations to increase your chances, right, of winning. But it's important to know which foundations to choose, right? And sometimes it's easy to see these huge numbers and say, oh, I'm going to apply for that grant when you're not even qualified. But yes, multiple foundations. And when you are describing whatever it is that you want funded, if you've been operating, talk about why you've been successful. If it's something new, right? Something new in your area, why is it needed? Why is it that you're the person to address it? Why is it needed now? But always write as if there's some issue, right, that you're addressing. Now, I cannot possibly overstate the importance of you connecting with community partnership. This is critical. This is absolutely critical, not just to strengthen the grant application, but for your survival, right? As a Black-led organization, right? This question will be on the grant application, but having been in business for 16 years, I can tell you, you cannot do this alone. It just doesn't work. And this does not have to be difficult. Let's say you have an accounting firm and you go to your library. A library, I think they are criminally underutilized because I want you to choose well-respected community partners like libraries, right? So you go in, let's say you give a tax talk for 1 hour every month. They're going to promote you, right? They're going to promote you. And you have the opportunity to share your knowledge, right? Which leads me to reason number 2. You need to increase your level of visibility. And by connecting with these organizations, you do that because they're already high profile, right? And you get a little bit of their shine because some of you have phenomenal programs, but nobody knows about them. And nobody even knows about you, not even your own community, which is why you need to connect with well-respected organizations, right? So that you get elevated, so that people see you and know what you do, so that foundations know that you exist and know of your work, right? So homework for all of you, list 5 organizations that you're going to connect with. I want to give you a quick example how you do this. Let's say you have a program where you help ex-offenders be reacclimated into regular civilian life, right? Just back out into society. What are a few organizations that you think they should be connecting with, right? They need to get to the ex-offenders while they're in jail before they are released, right? So that they are trained on the program. So who would they connect to, right? The jail, the criminal justice system, right? They need to know the sheriff. They need to know the warden. They need to know the chaplain, right? They need to know any different like bond and bail organizations, right? So that they can meet, right? So these are just some of the organizations that you would want to connect to in order to make your program successful. And this is for all of you. So name 5. If you want to put a few in the chat, again, we'll talk about it at the end. All right. Now, just know that when you are seeking grant money, you have to discuss, what do you think is going to happen if you get the grant money? What do you hope to happen? What are your goals? But you can't write regular goals. You have to write SMART goals, right? And some of you know what these are: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Let's say I have a literacy program, right, for kids, and I write as my goal, I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland. Well, that's not a SMART goal. A SMART goal would say, I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. Everybody right now, everybody into the chat. What did I do? How did I change the goal into a SMART goal into the chat? What did I do? What did I do there? You're going to have to create SMART goals. You need to let the foundation know what you expect to happen if you get the grant money. So into the chat, what did I do there? Anybody, what did I do? I made it more specific. Michonne, yes. Latina, I made it more specific. Jonathan, I added specifics. Yes. What else did I do? What else did I do? What else did I do? Look at what I did. I added metrics. I added things that are measurable. 5%. Hispanic children under the age of 5-year time frame. Anytime you want to change a goal into a SMART goal, you add, that's right, Shedrick, you add metrics, right? You add things that are measurable, data and stats. And you can use this formula no matter where you go or what type of program or project you might be working on. All right. Let's see. All right, next. This is about the money. This is about how are you going to be spending this grant money? You have to create a budget. And what you need to understand is that you must itemize your expenses. So if you need $50,000 for an executive director, you can't just list, I need 50 grand for an ED, right? Is it a contracted position? If so, how much money are you paying the person per hour? How many hours are they working a week? How many weeks out of the year, right? Be specific. Be specific. You need supplies. What type of supplies do you need? How many do you need? What are they being used for? Be specific. And the description or the explanation of what you're going to do with the grant money goes into the budget narrative. The numbers go into the budget. All right. Now, I know some of you are saying, Linda, this sounds good. It sounds good, but I don't have time for this. Like, I don't have time to write these grants. I don't have time to write these grants. Remember I said at the beginning that some of these grants are only 2 or 3 pages. That is the truth. Many of them are. So I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer, please, in the chat. Do you have time to get this free money? Do you have time to get free money? Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. Let's see if, oh, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I'm saying no stinking thinking yes. I certainly do. I see absolutely. I see yes. I see yes. So it sounds like you have time to get this free money. So if you have time to get this free money, I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process to get the free money. What does that mean? Oh, you're going to create some relationships. Yes, you are. People, this is a slide here. Like if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. So you can take your screenshots, do whatever you need to do. You'll get the replay later. But this is the slide here. You need to meet with the foundation before you submit the application. This is absolutely critical. This is often the deciding factor as to whether or not you get grant money. And please, there's nothing to be afraid of. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you grant money. You should want to meet with them. You're trying to get their grant money. And let me tell you, in this meeting, you're building relationship, right? And oftentimes they will give you information about that grant that is not on the website. And we're talking about a 30-minute Zoom meeting. Now, if the foundation is in close proximity to you, yes, meet with them in person. But remember, we have tons of national grant organizations. 30-minute Zoom. I always think about the one I set up, 30 minutes, client got $30,000 after 30 minutes because the missions aligned, right? I've probably set up 1,000 of these in the last 16 years. Meet with the foundation first. Yes, this is absolutely critical, as important as anything you will ever write in the grant application. All right. All right. Now, how are you going to do this? You're going to send an email. You're going to send an email requesting the meeting. Now, in this email, you are describing your organization. You are discussing who you serve, what you serve, right? How you serve them. you are aligning your mission to the mission of that foundation or the work that they do. You are not asking for money in this email. That is the quickest way to get a rejection letter, people, is to send an email asking for money in the email. No, you're asking for a meeting in the email. Then if you send this email to a real person at that foundation with a real email address, oh, you will get a response. All right. Now it's time to find the money. You're going to do grant research. Now, the Foundation Directory Online is a leading source of information on grants in the United States, but they give you a list of the organizations and the foundations that provide grants, not the grant. So if you look into FDO and you put in, I'm seeking an organization that will fund my program, and I'm in Detroit, and I help veterans with PTSD to get into transitional housing so that they can be reacclimated to society. They will give you a list of foundations that do just that. Now, they're $50 a month to subscribe, or guess what? Free access at your local library. All right. Grants.gov, that's the source of federal grants. And by the way, yes, the government gives grants to for-profits and nonprofits. Do I have any churches with me or faith-based organizations? Yes, you can get grants. The Lilly Foundation is the largest funder of religious organizations. Grant Watch. Grant Watch provides so much information. I love them because they provide the actual grant information. So they will give you a synopsis of the grant, right? The deadline, the sponsor information, right? Including contact information, name, email, address, telephone number, right? $20 a week for grant watch. And yes, if you only have $20 to spend, you spend your $20 and then you can cut it off. Or they're $200 for the whole year. Grant Station is $200 for the whole year. They also provide you with the grant opportunity, and they have a lot of free training. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, they are Black owned. They are phenomenal. Sign up for their free newsletter because they also provide training on grants, and also they probably drop 5 to 10 new grants every week where they give you information. So be sure you sign up afterwards for UrbanAwarenessUSA.org. Tell them Linda sent you, right? They are such a phenomenal organization. They really, 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 really are. All right. Now, I want to show you really quickly, this is how you conduct grant research to find the organizations that align to your profit or nonprofit. First of all, I want you to look to the right, areas of interest. For every block you see, there's probably 5 to 10 drop-down blocks. This happens to be Grant Station. They're $200 for the year. Every block you see, there's probably 5 to 10 drop-down blocks so that you really get to hone in on what it is that you are providing. And then your target population is the same thing, right? Veterans, homeless. Do you serve the African American population? Are you a for-profit? Are you a nonprofit? You list all that information on to the columns to the right, and you push a button, it will give you a list of grants, right? And if you are honed in on the African American community, yes, right? If you want to know about organizations that give to Black for-profits or Black-led nonprofits, you can all do this within the search portal. Let me say something to you about location. Many of you you're leaving money on the table. Do you know that it is easier to get local grant funding? Some of you are only going after these national grants. Don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. They're very difficult to get. Start local. It's easier to get local funding. Many of you, if you would just Google local community foundation near me, local community foundation near me, you will get a list of foundations, right? And I've shown you how to meet with them, what you need to do. Now, don't disregard your national grant makers, though. Just because an organization is in Florida doesn't mean they're not giving money to you and you're in Michigan, right? And for all of my international friends, this is absolutely for you as well. You could live in the US and serve a population in Africa and get grants. You could live in Africa and serve a population in Africa and get grants. Those are your global grant makers, right? Keep in mind, a lot of these organizations are global, right? So they give funding all over the world. So you push a button, fill in your information, grant station, get you a list of grants. Now I have a list of grant opportunities for you. It's at the end of the year. So if the deadline is passed for 2024, please get on their email list so that you are communicated with the moment that new grant opens, right? Now, many of you have heard of Aunt Jemima, right? You know, they changed their branding name to Pearl Milling Company, and now they have a program where they give nonprofits funding, but you have to serve Black girls or Black women, right? You have a Black nonprofit, support Black charities. You have a beauty brand, L'Oreal and NAACP. That round 3 is going to be opening, right? Any type of beauty brand that you have, or maybe you're inventing or developing or you sell. Do you have a brick and mortar store, meaning you have a physical presence, right? That Main Street grant opens up every year. LISC, since 1979, they've given away $9 billion. They are laser focused on Black owned small businesses, but they're only in 6 states. I know that includes Georgia, Ohio, and North Carolina. And there are 3 others. So if they are in your state, oh my goodness, you need to meet with them. Shea Moisture, do you have a beauty hair care salon? Now that grant, the last round of that grant opened in October, so I'm not sure of the dates, but if you have a Black hair care salon, that is the grant for you. I won't go through all of these. If you are maybe a filmmaker and you are creating a film about the Black experience, that's the Ford Foundation, right? One of the largest foundations in the world, right? And let's go to Amarillo. You may be thinking, Linda, this is not for me. I'm a solopreneur. I'm so small. I'm teeny tiny. No, organizations like Amarillo, they literally focus on giving grant money to super small organizations, right? Or you might be saying, I don't have some huge organizational chart. I don't even have paid staff. Guess what? You don't need paid staff. You know what you need? Impact. You need impact. There are all volunteer organizations that get grant money every day, right? Every single day. Are you a startup? Busy and Sky's the Limit. They both have startup grants. And again, if you're a Black church, you have maybe a faith-based organization, Lilly Foundation. All right. Now, I know I have a lot of women on here with me, so this slide is for you. Make sure you sign up to helloalice.com. They have several food grants available as well as tech grants. It constantly changes. Make sure you get on the newsletter. I will not go through all of these. Amber Grants for Women. They give away $30,000 every single month. 10,000 is earmarked for startups. 10,000 is earmarked for a certain theme. Go in there and find out what the theme is for December. It was creative arts for November. Find out what it is for December. And then if you need significant money, consider getting an angel investor. They invest in small businesses, women owned, up to $150,000. All right. So I won't go through them all. We're on to banks. I want all of you right now, tell me in the chat, like, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money, banks and money, banks and money. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Yes, loans, right? Oh, yes, the credit scores, the loans. How about high interest? High interest. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money, right? You've not been going to the right person. It's not your branch manager, it's not your loan officer, it's a VP. And I'm dropping the titles into the chat: a vice president of economic development or community reinvestment or community redevelopment. I'm going to give you 4 hot leads for banks. And yes, you absolutely have to meet with them. And no, it does not have to be your bank. Choose a bank that has a great presence in your community. Maybe they have a regional office or national office, right? I'm giving you 4 leads. Bank of America is the largest bank in the United States. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in endowment money that they're going to be giving away as grants. Hundreds of millions of dollars. The same with Wells Fargo, right? TD Banks, they give predominantly to nonprofits, and they're pretty much on the Eastern Seaboard, whereas Bank of America and Wells Fargo all over the country. The 4th is Truist, Truist. They give money to small businesses and nonprofits. All right. All right. Now, I said I had a bonus surprise for you. I cannot stress to you December 5th how important it is for you to be able to take this in your own hands when it comes to you getting grant money, right? A lot of things are changing. A lot of this government money that are provided in the form of grants may or may not be available for too much longer, right? Because if they're going to be trimming the government, what do you think is going to be one of the first areas that will be trimmed? Giving away free grant money, right? So you've got to do this yourself. As my coach always tells me, I am the one I've been looking for. You are the ones you've been looking for. So you can do this. I've created a grant writing course. This is how I won $17 million. I put it in a course and it includes my coaching so that you do what? You move past just writing a bunch of grants to placing yourself in a position to start winning grants, right? This course is proven, it's a proven step-by-step path to funding, right? It will teach you how to write a grant, right? I teach you the best grant research techniques so that you find the organizations that match to what you're doing. But for example, I'll teach you how to find the funder, but let's say you set up the meeting with the foundation, the coaching comes in, you come into the Facebook group and ask questions, or you come to my live group coaching sessions and you ask questions. So let's say you set up that meeting. You ask me a question. I'm going to tell you, what do you say in that meeting? What do you bring? What do you listen for? Right? What are some of the key words? The course will teach you how to write your budget, right? As to how you're going to be spending the money. But the coaching comes in, you come into the Facebook group and ask a question, right? Or the live group coaching session. Linda, where should I be at? Where should I be asking for money? Should I ask for money towards my operations or towards my program? How much do I ask for? Right? That's where the coaching comes in. All right. So you get 12 modules, 35 lessons. Every lesson has an intro video, but this is where the course is different than other courses. In the last 16 years, I've been hired to build grant applications, meaning I've had to write the grant questions, right? So I've seen a lot of questions over the course of the last 16 years, right? And they're not too much different than other applications, right? They all have a thing to them. I've utilized those questions, right, to build this grant course. So you're getting asked those questions inside of the course. So you answer in-depthly, right, under no pressure because it's all self-paced. So when you're done, you have this beautiful grant template that you're now using to apply for grants, knowing, right, that you've addressed these questions very thoroughly because that's how I'm asking them, so that you're ready to start applying for grants. And you get planners, workbooks, these quizzes so that you remember. And yes, you do get real examples, real grant examples. Every grant example in the course I wrote, and every grant example won money. All right. And I do something else nobody else is doing. I literally gift you a list of 600 organizations that go across profit status, whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit. And then I do something that has just totally changed the trajectory of the students. I have a private Facebook group that you're going to be a part of. And let me tell you, the students are phenomenal because they drop more grants in that Facebook group than even I do. And I put a lot of grants in the Facebook group. So you want to know where there are more grants in the Facebook group. Plus, this is where you come and ask your questions. I'm in there a lot. So if I'm in there, I will answer your question if I'm in there, right? But I'm in there a lot. I always say you'll be sick of seeing his face in the Facebook group, right? But the students are so amazing. They started 8 different chats so that they could collaborate. And I go into the chats too and answer questions. And then because I want to help you, I give you 1 hour of group coaching every single month, every month, right? This is not what you're paying for the course, but this is important. These numbers are important because I've had my course audited 3 times. This is what the course is worth. 12 modules, 35 lessons, $3,549. The videos are worth $599. That funding list, by the way, is over 600 funders. It's worth over $500. And then you have workbooks. Everything's online, digital, but you can download everything if you want. Planners, grant trackers, $350, right? But this is the slide that you want to see because this is how I serve the community, right? This is how I serve the community. The course is valued at $5,000, which is accurate because your university courses that don't even give you what I give you are $5,000. And I have colleagues that charge $2,000 for their grant writing courses. You have no access to them, right? So the regular price is $997. I try to keep it discounted. I really do for $497 just to try to make it more affordable because I know it will help you. But you hopped on the webinar and I know you could have been somewhere else at noon, right? You chose to come here, letting me know that you really do need help. So you're getting an additional 50% off for the next 3 days. So yes, one payment, one and done, $247, one and done. But you have to use the code DEC0505 rather N. Now, if you need more help, I give you more help. You want to make 2 payments, you've got 2 payments. $137.50 now, and then $137.50 a month from now. Put a 2 on the end of the code so that we know you want the 2-month payment plan. And you read right at the end, the course never expires. People, I don't even know of anyone, I honestly don't know of anyone else with a grant writing course where the course never expires, right? You have the information. This is everything you get. This letter of inquiry, which I think is so important because now foundations are using it almost as a gatekeeper. They ask you to complete this LOI, which is usually a couple of pages before they even invite you to apply for the grant. I have an entire lesson on how you write it, an example of how it should look, right? I teach you to write every part of that grant narrative, but the coaching places you in a much better position. All right. So if you want to buy the course, the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. You hit the link. Now you're getting a discount. You've got to use this discount code, right? For the next 3 days. So let's say you want to make the one payment of $247. You're getting a discount off of $497. So you hit the $497. It will take you to this page here. Look to the left, $497. But you have a coupon. Hit have a coupon and put your coupon code, right? DEC05N. And look what happens. It will take 50% off. You're only paying $247 for everything that I just talked about. For a self-paced grant writing course that you go on your own pace, I'm here to help you. You get support. And guess what? You write it all off. It's totally tax deductible. It's a business expense. So you write it off, right? Now, this little block here, I want you all to look at because if you want to do a private session with me, a private VIP session where we do a deep dive into your organization, oh, I get you together. Because within that hour, before we even discuss grants, I go through your mission, vision, infrastructure, right? Your target population, program, project, service, whatever it is that you're providing. And then we talk about local and national grants. It's $495. It's a strategy session. You get the notes and you even get the video. The only time you'll see it for $195 is if you buy it with the course. That's the only time that you can buy it with the course. Now we have a special program. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you, right? We have a special program. If you buy with the one payment, whether it's $247 or if you add the $195, doesn't matter. We have buy now, pay later. Affirm Afterpay and Klarna will stretch out your payments over 6 months, no interest. $247 stretched out over 6 months. Even if you add the $195, it's $447 stretched out over 6 months. You might get a grant before you even pay for the course, right? So that is available for the one payment deal. If you want to pay us 2 payments, you can. Hit the 2 payment plan. That's 2 times $275. It will bring up this page here. Now, this is where you're using the special code with the 2 on the back of it, DEC 052. And as you can see, you input this payment plan and look what happens. You get 50% off. Now you're only paying $137.50. And guess what? I don't drip my course. I don't drip my course. So even if you only pay $137.50, you get the entire course up front and the Facebook group and the group coaching call. Just know that you have 30 days to pay the last $137.50. And yes, you can still add $195, but I want everybody to look at this slide. This is Whitney. Whitney didn't think she was going to get any grant money, but Whitney is a student and she did exactly what I'm telling you to do. She followed the advice. She started local, $40,000 from the Southern Power Fund. She went national, $50,000 from the National Birth Equity Collaborative. Last year, Whitney got over $200,000, over $200,000. And she's saying, I can now be a salaried employee of my business. Isn't that what we want? Right? And for the LLCs out there, the for-profits, Michelle Richardson, right, sent me this post, $20,000 grant winner. She said, Miss Peavy, this is Michelle Richardson of Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage. They are a massage company, right? We both wanted to share a wonderful, fabulous news. Our small business was awarded a $20,000 grant. We are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business. This is free money, people. Please learn how to get it. Learn how to get it the right way, right? And 3 weeks ago, guess who won the LegalZoom $10,000 grant? Emily, a student, right? And I didn't even include literally Monday, another client got a $40,000 grant on Monday, right? This is Christina. May I share that I'm so grateful for Linda? I would not have had the confidence. People, she was scared too. It's okay to be scared. You've got to do it scared. I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for her grant writing course. The depth of information provided is unmatched from my experience, and she should know she's an educator. She won her very first grant. Yes, it is possible to get a grant if you've never received a grant before. People become so adept at writing grants, I kid you not, that they become professional grant writers. This is what Natalie did. Ended up writing a $50,000 grant for a church, right? You want to pitch your company? This is the course to teach you. April called me and she's an attorney. She said, Linda, you told me how to tell my story. She entered the competition, beat out 100 competitors, came in second place. There's a pitch competition, right? Cornisha got that Walmart grant. She said, thanks, Linda Peavy, because that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. She bought the one-on-one. Kimberly got 4 sponsorships in less than 2 months. 4. These are all real people. And just so you know, this is going to cost you something, right? It may be your time. You've got to invest something in this. It may be your time, it may be money, it may be connections, right? And what you're losing if you don't do this right. The least expensive thing to pay is money. I saw this online and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so correct. Because many of you have been like trying to get this done for months, some of you for years, and not knowing where to go or how to do it, right? Because I know grant writing can be a maze, right? But you have to know what to do. And it's so important to be coached. And this is such a small amount of money for what you get. $247 that you write off. Yes, that you write off. All right. We are done. It is Q&A time. It is Q&A time. But this is important, what I want you all to do before you leave. I want you to do this for you, not for me, for you. I want you to put into the chat, I am ready to get grant money. I believe in manifestation. I believe in literally writing down what you want to have manifested. Like put it out there. But you have to get yourself mentally ready in a space to do this because time is running out. I'm going to be honest with you. Time is running out. It's the fourth quarter. People know me, know I love sports. It's the fourth quarter. You can no longer, as a Black organization, you can no longer sit on the sidelines, right? You have to get into this game. You can't get grants unless you write grants. You can do this though, but get coaching. This is free money. free money. And as I said, we don't know what's going to happen next year, right? But we know that there will be some grants, but place yourself in a position to get this grant money, right? And I don't know if you've been listening closely to the news, but you know that organizations are being sued, right? Because they want to give Black organizations grant money. People, it is time to get in this game and get this money. What's beautiful is that they're continuing, right, to put out these grants earmarked for minority organizations. They're changing the wording a bit, right, so that they can still do it. But they're trying to get you this grant money, right? And it's time to get into this game. It really, 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 really is. I can't stress that enough. You want to be ready January 1st. You want to be ready. All right. So who is ready to get grant money? Let's see. All right. We have, let's see, this is, I think this, they don't get, Vernitra. Vernitra, Ashley, Jonathan, Kimberly. That's what I'm talking about. Write this down, William. Shadrick, yes. Jonathan, right, like get it out, right? Ramona, Isaac, Michonne. I talked to a lady, oh my gosh, about 3 weeks ago. She had her nonprofit for 17 years, had never received a grant. Broke my heart. I'm so glad she's in my course now and she's being helped. Constantine, Mike, right? I'm ready to get this grant money. You got to invest just a little bit into yourself to get this done. Danya, I'm ready to get this grant money, right? It is going to be so important that you know what you're doing January 1st, right? This money is available. Excuse me, it is available. So you have to place yourself in a position to be able to get it, right? And I would love for you to have me help you. I would love for you to buy the course. It's something that you can write off and even stretch over 6 payments. And it's a $5,000 course. I have other services that are probably 10, 20, I don't know, 50 times that amount. But this I do to serve the community because I know it will help you, right? I know that it will help you. All right. So Q&A time. We're going to start with the Q&A box. Let's see. Do I need an LLC to get a grant? Absolutely not. You can be a sole proprietor, right, and get a grant. Can you provide a small list of local Cleveland grant providers for reentry low income for the trade training? I provide customized lists for a fee. So if you want to send me an email, Melissa, could you please drop my email address into the webinar chat? That would be helpful. So I provide specialized services. So if you want a specialized list of grants, I do provide that as a service. It is pricey, so I would highly recommend that you take the course and learn how to find this list for yourself. So if you take the course, you come into the Facebook group, right? You say, Linda, I am really seeking like this list of local Cleveland grant providers, right? For this particular, I will show you exactly what you need to do to get this list. Actually, I showed you throughout this webinar what you need to do, right? I gave you actually four. You could use FDO, the Foundation Directory Online, or Grant Watch, or Grant Station, because your reentry program for ex-offenders is specifically a category that you can choose for some of these portals where you're seeking grants. And you're fortunate because I think you're in the Cleveland area where you have a model, right, with Edwin's, right? Edwin's Restaurant, and this is for all of you to hear. Edwin's Restaurant is in Cleveland, Ohio. He has like a 3 or 4 star restaurant, right? He has a phenomenal ex-offender program because he hires people out of jail and trains them to become chefs. He receives a significant amount of grant money to do that, right? To be able to do that. So when you are seeking and searching for grants, you can put in your category, your target population, and even where you live, where you are specifically searching for grants, right? You can be specific. You can use a keyword search. So that's very, very, very possible. All right. Does the fact that you are being sponsored by an existing 501c through fiscal sponsorship affect your application for a grant? Yes, it does. It absolutely does, because you need to get your own 501c3. I cannot stress that enough. However, in the interim, right, you can utilize a fiscal sponsor, but just know that if you get that grant money is going to your fiscal sponsor. It's not going to you. And then because they're the ones with the 501c3. So the money on your behalf is going to them, and then they have to give the money to you. So you have to really trust whomever this is, who is your fiscal sponsor, right? But yes, you can apply for grants through your fiscal sponsor, right? So you list who your fiscal sponsor is on the grant application. I have to tell you though that some foundations shy away from that. Some foundations want you to have your own 501c3, because at the end of the day, they're giving you money based on your program, right? But in the interim, yes, you can use a fiscal sponsor, absolutely. But it is I have to tell you, it's more difficult because some foundations shy away from that. But in the interim, yes, use your fiscal sponsor. Earlier, you said the turnaround for 501c3 is 8 weeks. Is this a short form? From what I've heard, no, no. Somehow they've sped up the process. I don't know what they've done because I'm not a 501c3 expert, but the organizations I know have indicated that they're getting their 501c3 in 8 weeks. Now, there was a young lady who said she got hers in 3 weeks. Maybe she used the short form, but from what I'm hearing, it's about 2 months. It is not a lengthy period. It used to be, but it's not any longer. All right. Okay, so those are the questions I'm seeing in the Q&A. I'm going to go over to the webinar chat because I know there are questions over here as well. Let's see. Yes, you write it off. So if you are a for-profit, you write the course off. It is an educational and business expense. You write it off. If you are a nonprofit, you're tax deductible, right? However, you can list it as an expense on your books. All right. Yes, you got 3 days until Sunday. You have until Sunday to get the 50% off. All right, so let me just, because I'm seeing some of the questions, so let me just say this to all of you. It matters less your industry, right? Sometimes let me just, let me make this clear. There are 3 areas. I was only going to explain like one, but I'm going to share with you 3 areas because I'm going to address all of these questions that I'm getting. There are 3 areas where you should all be searching for grants. It's not so much whether or not there are grants available for you. The grant money is available. It is you researching to find who is providing grant funding for you. So the issue is not whether or not there's a grant money, it's how are you going to find the funders? And that's what the grant course is about. So there's 3 areas. One, your mission, right? When you are looking on Grant Watch or Grant Station or FDO, find organizations that match your mission, right? So the Cleveland Foundation in Cleveland is the largest community foundation in the country, right? So if you have that reentry program, find out whether or not that's one of their areas, right? Find out whether or not that's part of what they provide. All right. Someone is saying that they have a pest control business. I do help everyone. How does that work? Right? But do you really help everyone? Right? Do you help everyone? Because you really can't help everyone, right? Nobody can help everyone. If you have a pest control business, that is very localized. So if you're in Ohio, unless you're willing to travel to California, you don't help everyone. So you help people within what? A particular radius of your location, right? Do you help commercial businesses as well as residential homes? Maybe your focus is on commercial businesses. Maybe your focus is on homes, right? Maybe you set yourself aside because maybe you use environmentally friendly products to get rid of pests, right? So who is your target population? Is it residences? Is it commercial? And then how do you set yourself apart? Is it people that live within a 5-mile radius, right? So you still, none of you have to really focus on who is your ideal client. And that's what you focus your business around, right? Maybe you decide I'm pest control, but I really focus on homes where they don't want any pesticides that are or chemicals that are dangerous for pets, right? So you all have to self-focus. So that also brings me to industry. I talked about mission, right? The number two is industry. Look to your industry for grants. You're in pest control. Find out whether or not an organization like Orkin, one of the largest in the world, right? Find out whether or not they have a grant program. Are you in transportation? FedEx, I know, have grant programs. Go to your larger transportation industries. Do you have a nail salon? Find out whether or not Opie, they create nail polish. Find out whether or not they have a grant. Just like Shea Moisture, they make shampoo and conditioner. Now they're funding organizations that want to open up hair salons. Go to your industry. And the third depends on your ethnicity and your gender, because there are some grants that are geared towards Black-owned organizations that it matters less what they do, but because they're Black-owned, they qualify and you can submit a grant. I'll give you an example. Last year, Progressive Insurance had a $25,000 grant that they were giving. You had to be a Black business and you had to use the money to buy a car. I had never seen anything like it in my life. You had to buy a car and you had to use that car within your business. It would have been a perfect grant for someone like you at pest control because you rely on transportation to get to your clients, right? So sometimes it's less about what kind of organization you have, but you're Black owned, so you qualify, or you're woman owned, right? Amber grants for women. Those are strictly for women business owners, right? So they have a theme, but they also have a very generic grant. So you can apply, doesn't matter what kind of business you have, but you can apply because you're a woman owned business. So what? Mission, industry, and then gender, ethnicity. All right. Okay. Someone said vegans and vegan children. What does that mean? How do you serve them? Do you make vegan food? Right. So tell me what, what does that mean? Do you have a culinary school where you teach children and vegans how to cook vegan food? And many of you can apply to multiple categories. So let's take this response here. She said her target population is vegans and vegan children, right? So let's say she has a cooking school where she teaches vegans how to cook vegan food at home for them and their children. There's like three categories automatically where she should be applying for grants. One, she's a woman-owned business, so look for grants geared toward women-owned businesses. Two, she's in the food and culinary industry. That is a separate category. Look for grants geared toward organizations in the food and culinary industry. Right now, which HelloAlice.com has two food grants, right? And so she's woman owned, food and culinary, and then she is specifically targeting children. So look for grants, right, that give to organizations with programs that target children. There's three right there. There's probably others. That all of you can do this. But this is why it's important to be in an environment and a community where you get support, right? Where you get the help that you need. Because this is my community is about more than just answering some questions on a grant application and then sending it off. It's getting you the help that you need that will place your organization in the best possible position to start winning grants, like giving you the multiple categories that some of you should be utilizing when you're searching, right, for grants. All right, let's see. Other questions? I'm in the webinar chat. Let's see. Other question. I'm going down to the end here. How do you set up the meeting? I went through that. So go through the replay and I told you how to set up the meeting. So just go through the replay. And I told you what you're trying to send an email, right? So to get that email, you can go to their website and oftentimes they will list the name of the person in the email, right? Or Grant Watch, they almost always list the person's name in the email. If the website does not have if the foundation doesn't have a website, one of my secrets is LinkedIn, right? Oftentimes you can get the information that you need on personnel by inputting the name of the foundation into LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, I have the paid version that's $35 a month where you can literally contact people directly. All right. So those are just some of the nuggets, right? You get a lot more when you're in a community where it is set up to help you. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go down to the end here. Yes, you have until Sunday. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is there a template that I can use in the course? Absolutely. So remember I talked about sending that email to the foundation. I have a template where all you do is literally just complete your information and you send out the email. The email where you're going to send to set up a partnership, I have a template. I have a grant application template. So as you're answering the questions in my course, you can answer them right into this Word document. I have a grant template set up. So yes, I definitely have templates. You want to learn how to create a budget? I have templates for that too. I heard there are two different fees for registration of the nonprofit. Is this true? I don't know what registration you're speaking of. So when you have a nonprofit, you want the 501c3, absolutely. But you also need to register as an official nonprofit, right? You want to register as a business within your state. So I highly recommend that. And it doesn't matter if you're a for-profit or nonprofit, you need to register, right, as a business within your state. That will get you the nonprofit created, but then you need to go one step further and go to the IRS and get your 501c3. So it is a two-step process. I make vegan food and want to expand to the school districts to serve vegan lunches. That's going to require you connecting with school districts, but also your charter schools, your CMOs, your charter management organizations. What is the impact of having a negative balance in your organization's account? Well, that it's not good. That's not good. That's not good. It's not good to have a negative balance in your organization's account because that is going to give a perception of accountability and lack of accountability, right? So if you're going to seek grants, I would get that taken care of. Now, I want you all to understand, however, that it doesn't mean you need a lot of money, right? Don't get the impression that you need a lot of money in your account to get grants. Not true. Not true, right? But a negative balance, no. But before we do anything else, before any of you go anywhere else, I need for you all right now, I need for you to give Jonathan some love because Jonathan, I got both Jonathans bought the course. Look, I need to see some clapping of hands. I need to see some hearts. I need to see some love because both of you, I will see you in the Facebook group. And let me tell you, don't you know it always pays to stay until the end? For those of you who stay with me until the end, I have an extra bonus for you. If you buy this course today, you've heard of artificial intelligence, right? You know it's not coming, it's here. There are ways to use artificial intelligence to write these grants faster and better. I am creating an in-depth course on artificial intelligence, but right now I created a little mini guide that will introduce you to AI very easily, very simply, but what you must know is with AI, you still need to be able to write the information to feed it. The course teaches you how to write the information. But if you want to use AI, you want to plug it in and maybe perfect what you've written, right? You can do that. That's what AI does. Please don't ever think AI is going to write some magical grant for you. You need to learn how to write. But I wrote this little mini guide, right? $99 guide. I will give that to you free, totally free if you buy the course today. You will get my AI guide for free, which will introduce you to AI because it's good to know. It's good to use as a tool, not a replacement, a tool. You will get the AI guide free. So Jonathans, I will see you both in the Facebook group. And for all of you who buy the course, you go into the Facebook group. I'm going to ask you a question. This is very important. I want you to answer my question because I help you immediately. I don't even want you waiting to come to the next live group coaching call, which will be in 2 weeks, and I want to see you both there. But I will ask you a question when you get into the Facebook group, you answer, and I will help you specifically immediately. All right. So those of you who are buying, you'll get 3 emails, a welcome email with your link to the Facebook group, or you want to be in the Facebook group. And then you set up your username and your password and you get started. You're not waiting for me. It's self-paced. All right. All right. Other questions, other questions. Thank you, because it is a community, Jonathan. You'll see once you get into the Facebook group. I kid you not, the students started eight chat groups, 8 chat groups. And when you come in, you have a chance to introduce yourself because there's a lot of collaboration, right? Whether you're a child care center, they're reaching out to other child care centers in the group. Accounting firms are reaching out to other accounting firms in the group. It is a community, a collective community. And this is what you need because there are scammers out there. Please get yourself in a safe space. If you're going to be seeking and writing grants, please, please, please get yourself in a safe space. All right. I would love for you to buy the course. I would love for you to let me help you. I can assure you that this December is the last time you'll ever see this course for $247. That is one thing I can assure you of because I know it's like crazily underpriced. My colleagues charge $2,000 for their course, and you don't even get what I'm giving you, right? But what I need for you to understand is that I would love for you to buy the course. But if you don't buy the course, whatever you do, don't be in the same place a month from now. Do something to move your organization forward. People, there's too much money available right now. Don't let this be another webinar that you sit on and you don't do anything with. Too much money available to you as Black organizations. And we need, as you know, to be as collectively as possible in a community that is a safe space, right? Right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold up. Hold up. We have to give Kimberly some love. Kimberly was like, wait, hold up, Jonathan's. You're not leaving me behind. You're not leaving me behind. So we need to give Kimberly some love. I want to see some clapping of hands. I want to see some hearts. Kimberly, you're on your way. I will see you in the Facebook group. I will see you in the Facebook group. All right. Ah, someone is saying, I will purchase a program on Sunday. I am not on Facebook. Is there an alternative? I would highly recommend that you get on Facebook if it's only to enter into this group, right? Because that's where the community, I have 2,000 students. That's where the community is, right? Actually, I have 3,000 students. There's like 1,700 in the group. I can't duplicate that anywhere else, right? Now, I input new information constantly in the Facebook group, right? So I would just highly recommend that you go on Facebook if it's only to just get into this group. People have to understand you control how Facebook affects you. You control how Facebook affects you, right? You control how many people you let into your sphere of being friends with you, right? So if I'm dropping new information and you're not in Facebook, right, I can try to make sure you get that information and it will just be sent to you via email. But we're constantly dropping new grants. Like daily, there are new grants being placed in, right, by my team and by other students. So you're just missing out on that. And I know there are some people that just absolutely hate Facebook, but use Facebook to your benefit. Don't let Facebook use you. You use Facebook to your benefit. That's what I do every day. Every day. I use Facebook to my benefit. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay. Other questions? I think that's it. You have until Sunday. You have until Sunday. I want to go back into the Q&A. Okay. Answered everything in the Q&A. I've answered everything, I believe, in the webinar chat. Let me make sure. I think we're done. Let me go up and make sure. All right. Okay, we are done. Let me make sure I got everybody's question as I said I was going to do. All right, we are done. People, it is December 5th. I have been in this industry for 16 years, and I just want to share with you all It is so important that you do something to move yourself to a place where you are ready to get this free grant money, right? I'm going to share with you what my coach always says to me. We are the ones we've been looking for. Nobody is going to come in and save us. Nobody is going to come in and deliver us. You've got to do it yourself, but do it in a safe space. I want to share one last story that happened in the Facebook group. Young lady came in, she was a student. Somebody told her that if she gave them $250, they would write all these grants for her. And she did it. And she realized immediately something was wrong. She came to the Facebook group. She created a post. She said, Linda, I don't feel right about what has happened. I think I'm being scammed. And she provided the information for this organization. I never even had a chance to get to the post. The students, once they saw that post, they converged on that post and they said, let us investigate this company for you. And they did, and they were scammers. But that's the community that I have. All right. And if you are working on your grant, and this is, I have to be clear about this, this is on a volunteer basis, right? Because there's a community in this Facebook group. If you're working on a grant and you want the community, right, to maybe view a piece of the grant or maybe your first few pages or maybe your LOI, I have a portal in the group where you can literally upload your documents and ask on a volunteer basis for somebody to just take a look at it. Volunteer basis, right? If I am in there, and I'm in there a lot, if I'm in there, I will skim it for you. That's a service, that's a separate service that I provide. Like if you want line by line editing of your grant and a review, that's a completely separate service that I offer, right? Because that is very time intensive. You can send me an email if that's what you want. But as a part of this $247, you can dump your materials into a file and ask, create a post, and just say, can somebody maybe look at this for me or give me another set of eyes? I have people with doctorates in English education. I have professional grant writers. I have retired grant writers. There's a lot of people in the group, right, who can help you. All right. So thank you so much. And I want you to know that there are people waiting on your skills and your talents, right? You owe it to yourself to get this manifested, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a for-profit, there are people waiting on you, waiting on your skills and your talents to get this done, right? It's go time. It's go time. Fourth quarter, go time, right? Please be ready. January 1st, be ready. Be ready to start applying and writing, right? And hopefully getting these grants right. And all the people that you saw that were testimonials, they're in the Facebook group. You can come in and ask them any questions that you have, right? But I want to thank you. I want to encourage you, right? Keep in mind, you, right? You're the ones you've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So be ready, right? Be ready. Take control. You take control of the destiny of your organization. And grants can be a big part of it. So I want you to have a safe, and a beautiful and a blessed holiday season, right? And move your organization forward. Whatever you do, keep moving forward. All right. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and creator of the company LaPav Consulting, LLC. I want to thank you all so much again. I know you could have been somewhere else at noon. So I'm very grateful, very thankful to you all for allowing me to share what I know of this industry with you. And keep in mind, you will get the replay tonight, right? You'll get emails with the link and the code for the next 3 days so that you have that reminder and that you have your replay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And hopefully I will see you over in the Facebook group over the course of the next 3 days. All right. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.